What's good? So I've been thinking about Canelo and his performance against Smith and how much of a complete fighter that he's turned himself into since 150 his 154 days, since fighting Mayweather. Fans want to give all the credit to him fighting Mayweather, but you have to give credit to Eddie Reynoso and Canelo. Give Canelo credit for adjusting and having the mindset of improvement. Something only the greats do. They change their style when their current style isn't working, or they change their style for a particular fighter that they're fighting, because they know if they fight their usual style that they'll lose. They'll lose every round, like Callum Smith did against Canelo. Canelo, when you have that much physical advantage against someone, you need to use them. You need to stick your jab out hard and move your feet, and that's something that Callum Smith doesn't really do. That's not his style. And I said in his video, well, that's not his style, then he should change his style. But that's hard to do. That's hard to do when you've had, I don't know the number of amateur fights that he has, but he had 27 pro fights. He was successful. He really is a knockout artist, and he's undefeated world champion with that particular style. Same thing with Danny Garcia and Spence. That was not the style that Danny Garcia needed to fight in order to beat someone as good as a Spence, who's a complete fighter, and he could beat Danny Garcia in any way. He could outbox him or he could outslug him, which he did throughout the fight, because Danny Garcia isn't active enough in order to trouble Spence. A counterpuncher like Danny Garcia, fighting the way that he does, throwing very little, wasn't going to beat an Errol Spence. Adrian Broner, and people want to say that, oh yeah, it's because he gets himself in trouble so many times, and yeah, that's definitely part of his downfall. But he's not active enough to beat these volume punchers, these heavy punchers that he can't walk down, like Sean Porter, like Mikey Garcia, who's not really a volume puncher, but he is very heavy handed at 135 and at 140. Marcos Maidana, he was never gonna beat him fighting like he does. Even Mayweather didn't stand in front of him. Mayweather picked his referee, picked his gloves, and I'm talking about the rematch, even the first fight too. But after the first fight, he knew that he couldn't stand there on the ropes again against someone like Marcos Maidana. He knew that he needed to move his feet, even get accused of running, which he does, which he kind of did. Even try to get Marcos Maidana disqualified for biting him, scream like a girl in that fight. But Mayweather changed his style. There is no one that was gonna beat Mayweather 2 times in a row. He changed his style after Jose Luis Castillo. Great fighters can do that. Roberto Duran could do that. He has superb abilities throughout. He might be the most complete fighter in history. I believe that, because he's able to change his style. He could box. He could slug it out. He can knock you out. James Toney could do that. Man, imagine if Michael Nunn, if James Toney didn't adjust and start throwing in his fight against Michael Nunn. He's like, no, I have to wait. I have to wait for the moment. I have to wait for the moment. He made something happen. He didn't just wait for it, and he knocked him out in the 11th round. Michael Nunn had a superb performance, but he got caught with a fighter that should be in the Hall of Fame. But that's a video for another time, man. And I'm still very angry that he's not in the Hall of Fame and that Andre Ward got picked over him. Even Klitschko and Mayweather, I can't complain about Mayweather being over James Toney, but James Toney is a first ballot Hall of Famer because of those type of fights. He was able to knock out in the first round or adjust in mid fight in order to win a close decision, kind of like Mayweather did against Marcos Maidana. And you gotta know who you're in with and adjust to that. And that's something that great fighters great fighters do. And so when I ask a fighter to do that is because I'm expecting maybe greatness for him or to try to strive to be a great fighter. But that's something only the truly special fighters can do. So seeing James Kirkland get knocked out like he did in the first round for the third time badly, it's just not his style to really not his style to not come forward and get hit. I don't think he landed a punch in that fight, man. That's hard to watch, but he fought his style against Canelo, and Canelo fought Kirkland's style in that fight and knocked him out. So I can't see another scenario where Kirkland beats Canelo, but maybe if, like I said in that video, maybe if he had a better trainer throughout his career, he could have trained in those attributes in order to become a complete fighter and have better footwork and move his head better, not stick his chin out. Same with Amir Khan. Man, Amir Khan, if he had better defense and because you can't do anything about your chin, man. If you had better defense and been more active, he could have been a future Hall of Famer at this point, man. He had a hell of a run, man. But that's something only truly special fighters could do, man. Change their styles in order to adapt. Macho Camacho did it. Mayweather did it. Barrera did it after being knocked out. And you might say that they became boring, but they elongated their careers. And Juan Manuel Marquez did the opposite. He wasn't very popular, and he was viewed as boring, the lesser of the big four at the time, Pacquiao, Morales, and Barrera. He was the least popular at that time. So he changes his style into a more fan friendly style, and he started knocking people out that were bigger than him, Juan Diaz, Caceres, Casamayor. So he started getting knockouts because that's something that he needed to do in order to get the attention of Pacquiao to get those rematches. So there's another example of someone changing their style, but this time it's someone becoming more fan friendly. So that how great was Marquez for that? But yeah, just something I was thinking about, and if you have other examples about this, let me know. And maybe someone mid fight changing their styles, or mid career, or someone currently that maybe you've seen improvements. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and have a great day. Peace.